So for step 4, attaching the front axles, we're going to install the front axles that we just finished into the front arms that we did in step 2. And we're also going to install the bumper, which I've already cut off the parts tree. Now, here are the screws that we're going to need for this step, but I'm going to show you an easy way to determine where and how this bumper is to be installed, and you'll see why in a second. So I'll just set up the camera. So before we install the bumper, let's put on these front axles. So you can see that all it is using these screw pins, and if we grab the right one here, so we need this one, because you know that this is how the way it's going to sit, and you need the ball connector at the back. So we can see that on this for the front, we're going to need to put that one there, and it'll be a screw pin. So we'll take that, slide that in, there we go, and I'm just going to do a temporary screw in for now, just so it doesn't pop out. And then we're going to grab the bottom, same idea, fit that in, grab the screw pin, take it through, let it go all the way, and I'll screw that one in. Now because they're both in, I'm just going to screw these right in now. And as it's going into the hard plastic, remember, you can actually feel it go all the way, and you don't have to worry about over tightening or stripping, because it's not the soft plastic. So let's just do that, and there we go. So there is one side complete. So we'll go ahead and do it same thing again on the other side. Make sure your ball connector is at the back. Grab this, put it through, put the pin through, get it all the way. There we go. I will screw it in just a touch, just so that it's not loose. Grab the other screw, put it in all the way, and now we're going to screw these both in all the way. There we go. So voila. So there we have that part complete, and everything is free, so everything is good. So now let's take a look at that bumper. Now, as you can see from the diagram, you've got 2 screws that go into the front, 2 screws that are going to go into the back somewhere. And if you look at the back, holy cow, look at all the screw holes. So you might say to yourself, well, wait a minute, from this diagram, how's this going to fit? Which screw holes are you putting it in? Well, there's an easy way to determine that, because if you see how this is sitting, this has to sit on top of that, right? Well, from the back, you can see that really there's only one place it can go. So when you see the curve on those back holes, well, if you turn this around again and look up close, there is only really one place it can go, which is in those 2 last holes, which we can see. So I'm just going to flip this over, because using these other screws, the BA8s, we know that those back ones are going to have to fit into that one hole, those 2 kind of the curved holes that we were looking at, right? These 2 big rounded ones, those are really the only ones that are available to screw anything into. So I'm just going to put them all in first, make sure that they're not binding, and then the other 2, the 2 front holes, they're just going to find their way into a hole on the other side. Like we don't have to worry about counting back or figuring out which one they're going to fit into. We just know they're going to fit into this, which they are. So there we go. So there's all 4 screws in. So now it's just a matter of screwing them all the way in. And again, I like to go around and not screw any one down first, because you never know if there's binding going to happen in any of the sections. Seems okay, so I'll go around again. And this is going from hard plastic to hard plastic. So you should be able to feel when it's actually in. So you can continue to turn and screw it in until it stops. And you also know that the screws are going to sit below so that they're not raised. So they should be sitting below the bumpers, what would you call it? The flat area. Those screws have to be reset. Reset? Is that the word? Reset. Reset? I actually now no longer know what word I'm trying to say. Reset. Reset? Recessed. Thank you. I'm thanking myself here for saying recessed, but it's recessed. You want them recessed so that they're below the plastic of that bumper, so that they're completely out of the way. So I'm just doing a little bit of extra tightening as I go. They are now completely solid. They are all four recessed, and so that is the finished completed step for step 4. So there we go, that is done. So now we can move on to step 5, and we're going to build that differential.